Welcome back for another video. In this video we'll be looking at a Gameweek 26 wildcard team. We're going to discuss the pros and cons of pulling the trigger this week. I'm strongly considering pulling the trigger myself this week, so let's talk about why you should or shouldn't consider it. First of all, if we look at the ticker for the next 6 game weeks, there's a few things here that make the wildcard appealing. First of all, there's the double Gameweek 27. Brentford and Brighton are the two teams that have nice fixtures there. They also have good fixtures in Gameweek 26 with home games to Fulham and West Ham. Gameweek 29 is a big double game week. Again, Brentford and Brighton double then as well, plus many other teams who will want to have players from, such as Man United and Newcastle. Thirdly, many of us have loaded up on Liverpool assets for double Gameweek 25 despite their overall poor form this season. So do we really want them long term, especially with a game against Man United in Gameweek 26? Wildcarding now lets you move them all straight out, and maybe you're one of those who sold Kane for Darwin last week, so it's an easy way to get Kane back. Lastly, one caveat I'll add is that the FA Cup's this week, so on the off chance we get a major upset, there might be less in favour of a wildcard this week. For example, if Liverpool and Fulham play in Gameweek 28, it might be enough to hold out and then wildcard in Gameweek 29 instead, depending on how your team's shaped up. Anyway, let's have a look at the team, and if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel for lots more to come this week. I'll also mention that if you can't afford the team, we'll talk about some areas that you can make sacrifices to free up cash. So starting in goal, and it's Kepa. Although Chelsea have been poor, he's one of the few positives from an FPL perspective. They're home to Leeds, and it is a fixture they're expected to keep a clean sheet in. That said, if you don't trust him, then the bench keeper in this team is usable in Gameweek 26 as well. Chelsea are guaranteed to play in Gameweek 28, which is home to Everton. The back three is Shaw, Gabriel and Estepinian. Some spoilers for the bench. Trippier is on the bench, so if you disagree with that decision to bench him away to City, then just swap him in for Shaw or Estepinian. Again, many of us sold Shaw for a Liverpool defensive asset last week. Man United doubling Gameweek 29 against Newcastle and Brentford, while Liverpool play away to Man City and Chelsea. We've said for some time that Gabriel's the best of the Arsenal defenders to own, and he picked up maximum bonus in the win over Leicester last game week. He is 5.2 mil though, so if you're tight for cash, Zinchenko or White are cheaper and they're also fine picks. Bournemouth at home is an excellent fixture for Arsenal. Bournemouth were able to put one past City last game week, but over the season they remained rock bottom for expected goals. Estepinian already has 5 assists to his name this season and 16 starts. Brighton have a really strong double Gameweek 27 to follow this game week. 3 clean sheets in their last 5 for Brighton, and just 3 conceded over that run. Dunk is also 4.7 mil, and historically he's been a staple for Brighton double game week, but given the consistency of Estepinian's starts and returns, he's worth the pick. The midfield is Rashford, Fernandes, March and Saka. It's a Man United triple up, but not exactly brave given how good they've been. Spirits will be high after the League Cup win, and Rashford's near on essential, having failed to score only once since Gameweek 17, 10 goals and 2 assists in 10. Man United are highly likely to blank in Gameweek 28 though, which does make them a tricky team to use. If you don't have your free hit, or you don't want to use it in Gameweek 28, then we'll talk about where some tweaks can be made later on. Given BRUNO and Man United's consistency, he's the perfect player to pair up with Rashford, especially when you consider Rashford's very high effective ownership. You gain very little from Rashford's points, but BRUNO stands a very good chance of being involved every goal. Just 3 blanks in 10 for BRUNO since Gameweek 17. March and Mitoma are both great options, so take your pick. March is actually cheaper, and over the last 6 game weeks he's racked up 3.7 XGI to Mitoma's 1.67, so over twice as much. 10 chances created by March to Mitoma's 3, 11 shots in the box to Mitoma's 7. March had 61 points post restart, which can only be beaten by Fernandes, Haaland and Rashford. Looking like an absolute bargain for 5.1 mil, and they're home to West Ham in Gameweek 26. Little separates Saka and Odegaard over the season, neck and neck on points, so if you're tight for cash then Odegaard's fine as well. Saka's been the more consistent asset, returning in more games, while Odegaard's had 5 more double digit hauls, but he's returned in less games. Saka is on penalties as well, which is a factor. The front 3 is Haaland, Toney and Kane. Gameweek 26 looking like perhaps the last gameweek for a while, where he is the standout captain. Home to Newcastle's no pushover though, and Newcastle will be boosted by the return of Bruno Guimaraes, who has served his 3-match suspension now. Saka and Kane are certainly options for captaincy as well this week, but we've got Haaland captain here. Toney's home to Fulham, and then it's a double game week against Everton and Southampton. Only Haaland and Kane have more goals this season among all players. Rashford's tied with 14 as well. Looking further afield, Toney's a strong contender for Gameweek 27 captaincy for that double game week, though Haaland does have Crystal Palace, which isn't a bad fixture at all. Nearly all of us overlooked Haaland for captain against Bournemouth, where he put up a 10-pointer in favour of Saka and Salah captain. Will Gameweek 27 be the same story? Kane completes the 11, another goal last game week to put him on 18 goals and 6 assists over the season. Wolves, Nottingham Forest up next, and then Southampton in Gameweek 28, which is likely a blank. He's been unbelievably consistent, however given he's likely to blank in Gameweek 28 and he doesn't double on 29, we'll talk later about some alternative picks here. The bench is Raya, me, Trippier and Andreas. So counting up the Brentford and Brighton players, this team gives 5 that double in Gameweek 27 and then 10 that double in Gameweek 29. So a couple of things to discuss. First of all, later this week the Gameweek 28 blanks will be locked in. Using Ben Crellin's blank percentages, the likes of Tottenham, Man City, Brighton, Man United and Brentford are all likely to blank. So there's 2 ways to go about it. Either commit to free hitting in Gameweek 28, in which case you can freely pick any team, and this team would be my choice. It's a headache save, though you'll likely be postponing the headache, as Gameweek 32 will be a blank, and Gameweek 34 and 37 will be doubles, so you just have free transfers to navigate those weeks. Or alternatively, you could save the free hit and then use it in a later blank or double. If Liverpool don't blank in Gameweek 28, then there's 3 easy changes you can make to the team. Bruno becomes Salah instead, Kane becomes Watkins, and Shaw becomes Botman. This gets you to 9 or 10 if you spend free transfers, or 8 at worst. March could also become Erdegaard in Gameweek 28 for example. Since it's going to be such a big blank game week, not fielding 11 really isn't the end of the world, especially with the likes of key players covered like Saka and Watkins. Let me know in the comments what your current thinking is on chip strategy. Thanks for watching the video, and there is lots more FPL content to come this week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. See you soon for the next one.